and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be doing my sorority rush experience at the University of Alabama, and I'll be doing a Q&A at the end, so stay tuned. But first I wanted to put out a little disclaimer. I'm not shaming any sororities in any way, and I won't be saying names, but I'm not trying to discourage anyone and or anyone else's experience, and this is really just my own thoughts and my experience. Okay, anyways, I went into Rush extremely confident and prepared. I had all my rec letters. I had a 3.9 GPA. I had all my resumes and letters and stuff like that printed on like these paper from Etsy that was like cute and lettery, like had like calligraphy and stuff like that. So I was extremely excited and confident going into Rush because it was an experience that I had done a ton of research on, watched a ton of YouTube videos on, and I was genuinely just so excited to do it and be a part of it. So the first days were open house, and I had great conversations with the girls in all the houses, and I felt very good about the connections that I made. I'm sorry if I keep looking down, I have all this like on my iPad, but yeah. I felt so good about the connections I made, and I did have like a few houses that I really liked, and even though it was like the first time meeting these girls in some of the houses, I like instantly fell in love with with a couple of the houses, and I just knew like that I wanted to keep talking to them and getting to know them. So philanthropy, when I got my card back, didn't have some of the houses that I really enjoyed. I was a little upset, but I knew that that was normal and that it was going to be okay, because I did have my top house still, and I had a bunch of houses I still really liked. So during philanthropy, I made even deeper connections with some of the girls, and especially this one house that I really had my heart set on already, which thinking back, like if I had been more open, maybe my experience would have been different, but it is what it is. And I was still super confident about the outcome I was going to get. So when sisterhood came and I got dropped from even more houses that I really liked, I was a little bit discouraged, but I still had my top house, and I was just very excited about that and hoping that it would work out. And then pref comes around, and I get my pref card that morning, and I see that I was dropped from my number one house, and I just broke down because I just felt like I really belonged there, and that I made amazing connections with the girls there, and I could see myself there. And it was just heartbreaking when I didn't get asked back. I was watching this back and editing it, and I just wanted to mention that nothing you do or say or wear or what you look like will be the reason you get dropped from a house, unless it's extreme. But I promise you that they're not dropping you because of what you look like or because of what you're interested in. It's just how it happens sometimes, and it sucks, it really does, but there's nothing wrong with you when you get dropped, I promise you. And I felt that way sometimes. I felt like, why am I not good enough? But that's not how it works at all. And you really just have to trust the process, like everybody says, but do not get discouraged and do not blame yourself when you get dropped from a sorority. But I did get two sororities that I just was not in love with. And they're still amazing houses, and like they have great girls in them, and they're awesome, but I just couldn't picture myself in either of those houses. And I knew it wasn't the right fit for me. Shh. I knew that I would not have been happy had I accepted those, like if I had gone to those houses for pref. So I ended up dropping out of Rush completely, which my Rokais were like really trying hard to get me to stay, but they were also supportive of my decision, which was really awesome. Like the Rokais are great, and definitely try and make a connection with them and keep in touch with them. But I was super crushed about having to drop out. Well, not having, but my decision of dropping out, and just the whole situation in general. So when bid day rolled around, I was like, it was so hard to see everybody posting pictures and seeing the Snapchat videos of people running home to their houses. So I felt like I really missed out on that, but it ended up being fine, and I'm super happy now with what happened. And I'll tell you what happened. I COB'd. So I started looking into COBing on the UA Pan-Atlantic website. I signed up for COB and looked at all the houses that were doing it. And then I got invited to the Gamma Phi Beta Ice Cream Social. And I really got to know the girls on a deeper level that day, because it's much more casual. You're not all done up. You're just in your campus wear, and it's just like you're talking to your friends, not someone who's, you're not trying to impress anyone really. And then I got invited back for the dinner, which was also super casual, just getting to know them even better. And I really started to make friendships during this. And then we had our own little bid day, which was awesome. We got to have our bid day jerseys, and we got bid day bags, which was awesome. And I really enjoyed that because it made us feel like we were still a part of, you know, the whole shebang. So by doing what I did, my decision, I don't regret it at all, and I would not go through RUSH again whatsoever and change any decision I made, because I found lifelong friends in Gamma Phi, and I'm even living in the house next year with 2 of them. Everything worked out the way it was supposed to, and although my experience was like different than the traditional RUSH experience, it is possible for something like this to happen to you, and I just don't want anyone to be discouraged, especially the way that RUSH is going to work this year, with it being mostly online. You have to just trust yourself, and I know everyone says it, but everything works out, and you just have to trust the process. So with that being said, I hope all of you have an amazing experience going through recruitment, and it's going to be so much fun, and I wish you all the best of luck. Okay, so now we're going to jump into this Q&A. I sent out a Google form in a group chat with a bunch of the PNMs, and I got a ton of really good questions that I'm going to answer. So the first question, what should we wear for online days? To be honest, I think you should stick with the attire that you would be wearing for normal RUSH. Just because it's online doesn't mean that you need to dress it down or anything. I think it'd still be great to look cute and wear your outfits that you picked out already. Are there going to be less bids this year, or will it be harder to get a bid because of the majority of RUSH being online? And to be honest, I have no idea about the bids and how many will be going out. Like, we have no jurisdiction on that right now. Honestly, it might be a little smaller than normal just because we might not have as many girls rushing this year, but I have no idea like the statistics of that. How do I stand out over a Zoom call, and how can I feel confident about my conversations, and any tips for letting your personality show over Zoom? Okay, so standing out over Zoom can be probably difficult, especially if you're a little shy and don't like being on camera or stuff like that. But I just think you need to be yourself, and you have to speak with confidence and really mean what you're saying, and that will help you. And also just not focusing on what you look like and what like your outfits look like or what your hair looks like. Just honestly, the conversations are what matter the most, because you want to get the most out of your experience talking to these girls with the short amount of time you have. And letting your personality show, like everybody says, you just have to be yourself and just keep things lighthearted, and don't like think about it too much, because when you get in your head, you'll just get even more stressed out. You just have to let the conversations flow. And like everyone says, the girls that are rushing you are just as nervous as you are and trying to keep the conversations going. So I think you just need to, You just need to be true to yourself, let the conversation go how it's gonna go. And as far as like standing out, the people who are the most genuine people and are happy to be there and excited about Rush no matter the circumstances are the ones that are going to stand out the most, I feel like, at least. Next question, will there be a bid date retreat? So I have no idea about this. I'm not really sure how it's gonna go because we haven't got any information about this or anything. We're just as in the dark as you guys are, but hopefully there will be. And if there's not, like right after bid day, hopefully they'll plan one further into the semester or something like that. Will prep be more casual, or should we still plan on dressing fancy? I would say you should still plan on dressing fancy, because I know we are still wearing our outfits for pref. So you should probably wear your same outfit and stay fancier, because that's just the way that round goes. But yeah, you should wear what's comfortable but still within the dress code. Is everything over Zoom? I'm pretty sure everything but pref and bid day is over Zoom, but I'm not 100% positive. Like, I actually am still a little confused about this whole process, but I'm pretty sure it's pref and bid day are the only in-person rounds. How important are rec letters? So I think this really depends on the sorority, because I had rec letters for every single sorority and got dropped by some of them. And then I know girls that had no rec letters and got their top house. So I think it really just depends on your experience and the girls that are looking at your like profiles and stuff like that. But I'd say they're like not like, I wouldn't say that rec letters make or break whether a house keeps you or not, but they definitely help. And I think they might even help a little more this year, because we don't get to spend as much time with the P&Ms. Has voting changed since it's online? I don't know if you meant voting for your houses or us voting for the P&Ms, but I haven't heard anything about it, so I have no idea. Everything's just a little confusing right now. What's the most important thing to work on leading up to Rush? I'd say like practicing in your photo booth on your laptop and talking to it, because it's weird and you have to get used to it, especially if you like never done it before or something like that, if you didn't have any Zoom classes already. It is something you have to adjust to. Another important thing you should work on is also speaking clearly and articulating, because it might be harder to hear over the internet or something like that. So like just really being clear will help us, like it'll help it flow more and be a little less awkward if we're like, wait, what'd you say? You know? So I just say like practicing in your camera on your laptop or whatever you're using, and just getting used to talking to a laptop. Should we keep our dresses? Yes, I highly recommend you keep your dresses, whether you'll be wearing them during recruitment or not, because I'm always needing random dresses, whether it be for game day or for a date party or swap or something like that, or just even like you want to have a photo shoot or something. Like, I think cute dresses always come in handy, so I would keep those. Will P&Ms be in their dorms during Zoom calls? So this is not something I know much about, but I'm pretty sure they will be in their dorms, because I don't know where else they would go, depending on if they're like setting something up for that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be in your dorm room. What can I do to make myself be more authentic? So I wasn't really sure how to answer this question, because I don't think you should be making yourself more authentic. You should just be authentic in the first place. You shouldn't have to force yourself to be real, I feel like. But anyways, just not trying too hard to impress people will make you seem more grounded, and just stating the facts about who you really are and what your values are will make you seem more authentic and real, and you know, just being yourself. What should we wear for our intro video? I would recommend wearing whatever you're gonna wear for open house because it's cute, and maybe some like jewelry that you can stand out with, some earrings, a necklace, just something you feel comfortable in and you feel cute in, and you won't be fiddling with it because you're confident in it. So I feel like that would be the best thing to wear. How will I know if I'm making the right decisions on Zoom, and how will I know which house feels most like home? So my advice for this question is do your research before you even start. Like, stalk all the Instagrams of the sororities and see how they interact on those posts and what they're posting about. Watch their story highlights and stuff, and really get to know them on the social media, at least, even though social media is not everything at all. I can tell you that. Like, a social media page does not define a sorority, but you can kind of get a feel for the girls in that sorority if you go through the comments and see what they're talking about and all that stuff. I don't know how to describe it, but I'd say just try your best on Zoom to ask as many questions as you can and get as much knowledge as you can about the houses. But I did ask two of my sorority sisters their take on this question, and I'll tell you their answers. My friend Caroline said, the feeling you get in your gut when you think you found the right house for you is going to happen whether you're talking to a girl over Zoom or in person. That's her take on it. And then my friend Brenna Claire said, this method is new for everyone, so you're not alone being nervous in the process. Nobody really knows what to expect, but I know each house will do everything they can to make you comfortable and feel as if you are in there. With this being said, we all hope each P&M will be able to make connections, even if they are virtually. That will make the decision process easy for you. How do you do Zoom calls in a traditional dorm if our roommate is also rushing? So like that would be 2 calls going on and you might like lose focus or something. I have no idea, and I'm so sorry I don't have the answer to this question, but I really don't know how that would work, especially in Tutwiler, because like I know everyone living in Tutwiler almost will be rushing, and all their roommates too. So I mean, you could use like the common areas of places. You could, I don't know if the library will be open, but also you can't really talk in there, so I don't know, that would be kind of weird. But maybe if you have friends living in suite style dorms, you could ask to use their like living room area or something like that, because I get like how it would be distracting to be on a call trying to get to know a sorority while your roommate's trying to get to know another one. So I'm not really sure, but hopefully that information will be available soon. What are your thoughts on virtual rush? So my thoughts are that it's unfortunate that we have to do this, and it's definitely going to be harder and different than what traditional rush would look like. But I think you just have to take it as it is, and you just have to go in with an open mind and an open heart and just put your all into it and make sure that you get what you want out of it. My friend Caroline also answered this question. She said, this is a new experience for everyone, whether you're a first-time recruiter or you're a veteran. Of course, everyone wishes the circumstances were different and we could meet every P&M face-to-face, but that's not an option we had this year, so we have to roll with what we've got and make the best of it. We're still so excited to meet y'all virtually. How can we ensure if girls are genuine? So I just want to say, like, I hope none of the girls are being fake at all, like actives who are rushing people, because that's just not what we stand for in the Pan-Atlantic Association at Alabama. It's supposed to be all genuine, and they're supposed to make you feel comfortable, and if they don't, then that's not what should be happening. And I think all girls, you should assume everyone's being genuine at first, unless they're being fishy or not, or like seeming fake or something like that. But yeah, that's my take on the question. Does a lack of or an array of Instagram communication indicate anything? No. I wouldn't say that it's a good or a bad thing, whether you have a ton of actives commenting on your pictures or you have no actives commenting on your pictures. The social media part does not really matter, because when you meet them in person, you won't even remember who commented what. also think establishing those connections on social media can be beneficial, and it definitely won't hurt you unless you're being like shady and weird. Don't be alarmed if you like don't have a ton of actives commenting on your pictures. I promise you they will love you in person. What are some good questions to ask during recruitment? So since it's different this year, you can definitely talk about like what you've been doing in quarantine. I feel like that would be a fun thing to talk about, and keep it lighthearted though, and just talk about how you've been occupying yourself and what you've been doing, and be respectful. I know you've probably heard about like the 3 B's. Definitely don't talk about those. Another good question to ask would be something around the lines of, what will I gain from this sisterhood? Another question you could ask is, what are some experiences that you've had in your sorority that made you just realize that you made the right decision? Definitely don't ask a ton of like the basic, where are you from, what's your major questions, because that'll all probably be established at some point, so you don't need to repeat it, and you just want to get to know these girls on a deeper level and find out more about the sorority and the philanthropy and the sisterhood and what they stand for. Focus on their experience in the sorority and what they love about it. How did you know the right house for you? So if you listen to my RUSH experience spiel in the beginning, I didn't have the right house for me during RUSH, but once I stepped foot in Gamma Phi during COB, I just knew. I was like, yep, this is my home. The girls, you'll just feel like you can be yourself with them, and that doesn't matter what you look like or what you wear, because that's where you belong, and they'll love you no matter what. How do you manage the financial side of Greek life, and what are the other costs of being in a sorority outside of dues and stuff? So being in a sorority at Alabama is definitely expensive, but I think of it as an investment, because you get your meals first of all, which is amazing, definitely better than any of the dining halls, and you meet these girls that you'll have connections with for the rest of your life. So I really think you're investing in your future almost. As for other costs, definitely like supplies and stuff, or costumes for just like sisterhood events, philanthropy events, swaps, date parties. There's all themes to those and stuff. So I definitely spent, I wouldn't say a lot, but a pretty decent amount of money on stuff like that. But as the time goes on, you kind of rack up like a costume collection, which you can reuse and stuff. But yeah, other than that, I don't really spend much money on anything outside of my sorority. Besides sometimes Greek points, you can do a Venmo Greek point, but those are optional. You don't have to Venmo for Greek points. You can get Greek points in other ways. How much of a commitment is joining a sorority? I think you can make the commitment level however you want in a sorority. You can be not involved at all and just go eat at the house or whatever and socialize, or you can get super involved and apply for positions, whether it be like in committees or even exec. It really depends on how you put yourself out there in the sorority. But yeah, so the commitment level just depends on how busy you want to be. You can really decide whether being in a sorority is a commitment for you or not. The last question I got was the pros and cons of being in a sorority. So like I said, a pro would be the lifelong connections that you make, and definitely the food, and also just the friendships that you already have established at the beginning of the year. Definitely makes it easier. I feel like if I didn't go through RUSH and I didn't COB, I would not have as many friends as I do right now. Another pro would just be the opportunities that being in Grief Life gives you, like higher positions and stuff you can fill your resume with, honestly. And I'm super passionate about my future and making sure that I'm set up for success, which I love about my sorority because they give us all those opportunities. Cons, I would say definitely the price. It's pricey. and there's not really anything bad about being in a sorority, really. I can't think of any other cons, and I love my sorority, I love my sisters, and I love everything about the Greek life at Alabama, and I highly recommend people to rush. Just go through it, doesn't matter, just go through recruitment. Even if you're on the fence about it, you'll meet amazing people, and it'll be an experience you'll never have. But anyways, I hope you guys found this video helpful and that you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to meet some of you in the fall. I hope you guys have the best year ever at school. Even though it's different, you got to make the most out of it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.